Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Rose Martinez. I serve as a director for the Bellwether College Consortium, and I'm pleased to see so many people here on this live webinar. I'm pleased to host the guidance webinar for this 2026 Bellwether Award competition. The Bellwether College Consortium takes pride in hosting this long-standing and prestigious competition for our community colleges. Whether you're new to the competition or you're returning to vie for the award again, we are delighted to have you with us. Note that this session is being recorded, so if you all can put yourselves on mute, we would appreciate that. And then we'll have a Q&A section later. But for the time being, if everyone can be on mute, this is going to be recorded and it's for you to reference as a courtesy. It will be available to all the registrants that are here with me today. And we will also have it available for anybody that has submitted an entry. We will also have it on our webpage as well. So if you just click on the resources tab and then on the webinars tab, you will find it there in just a few days. We'll edit it and then put it up as soon as we can. We wish you the best of luck and hope to have your college named as a 2026 Bellwether finalist. But let's start from the beginning. Here's what I'll cover today. I'll share a bit about who we are and what we do. You'll learn the three different award categories that we have, and I'll also share a few important dates just so you can note that. I'll explain the 4 judge criteria for the round one portion of this competition. And then I'll provide a demo so that you can understand where you need to go and what is necessary for you to submit your program via the Bellwether submission portal, which is located, by the way, at bellwethercollegeconsortium.com. We'll navigate all that for you, and I'll touch upon a few pertinent pages so that way you're well versed in where to go and what to do. I'll conclude with this short Q&A period, so have your questions ready. Note that we do have an FAQ section on our website, so chances are we may have already addressed your question there. But nevertheless, we are here to help you. So if you have a question after the session, by the way, that you think about, feel free to reach out to me. I will have my email information at the end of this presentation. I'm always happy to help in any way I can, as is the team. If you're watching this as a recording, obviously you're not on this live session, and you can reach out to me as well. I'm happy to respond. Okay, so let's continue. As I shared earlier, this webinar is the consortium's way or opportunity to provide you with as much information as you need to prepare for a competitive program submission. Let me begin by sharing who we are. Our current membership is comprised of 30 Bellwether finalists. These are the members who competed this year for our 2025 award competition. They were invited to join the Bellwether College Consortium when they became a finalist. So the only way you can join our consortium is by invitation only. It is a perk. If you're one of the top 10 scores in one of our 3 categories, you're by extension invited to join the consortium. Just to let you know that this year's award recipients we are so proud of were Fletcher Technical Community College from Louisiana, who won in the category Planning, Governance, and Finance, Madison Community College from Kentucky, who won in the category of Workforce Development, and also Forsyth Technical Community College from North Carolina, who won in the category of Instructional Programs and Services. I will describe those award categories in detail in just a bit. But I wanted to share that the entire Bellwether finalist list will be shared in just a bit so you see where they're from. I want to say that we had submissions from 30 states this year, so it was an incredible year for us. So our membership consists of some amazingly exceptional programs, and we hope to see the same this year. So again, thank you for joining. The Bellwether College Consortium is member supported, so the memberships we do receive go to support our annual event and also some exciting things that I'll share along the way. We focus on critical issues affecting community colleges by seeking to discover and to promote colleges addressing these challenges with high impact approaches. We strive to provide a high value event that results in the sharing of innovative, scalable, replicable, equity focused programs with evidence-based success. Any public community college can submit an entry for the award and can register also to attend the Futures Assembly, even if they're not competing. We have a member and non-member registration and encourage all of our higher education community to attend and learn from these 30 exceptional program teams. Registration will open in late November. To date, we have had over 900 Bellwether finalists and over 90 Bellwether Award winners. Next year will be our 32nd year of hosting the Community College Futures Assembly. We are proudly supported by Alamo College's district and housed at their administrative headquarters in San Antonio. Let me share more about what we do. We support, we publicize, and we promote our annual award competition that honors cutting-edge, trend-setting programs worthy of replication. We showcase exemplary community college research through our annual Outstanding Dissertation Award competition. If you are a doctoral candidate that will be graduating before December 2nd, I would love to hear from you. I have reached out to most of the deans of education and have always had a really strong pull through their efforts to help support this competition, but always excited to see some new colleges or candidates from new colleges entering this competition. We also disseminate program knowledge and insights on each of our award-winning submissions to promote the replication by providing the design models, the organizational frameworks, and assessments to our membership. We do this through a digital library that all our members have access to that is password protected, but it is really one of the best ways that we have to promote great programs from members within that may not have seen that particular presentation on the day of the Futures Assembly when all the 30 presentations were held, because there's just no way you can get to 30 presentations in one day. Let me talk more explicitly about the competition. The Bellwether Award competition, if you have not attended the final round, it's a unique and long-standing accolade that is awarded by your esteemed peers and leaders in higher education. Our jury of judges, they represent national community college organizations, higher education research institutes, philanthropic organizations focused on higher education, and some leading business partners with our colleges. Round 1 and round 2 judges differ, resulting in geographic and perspective diversity to the competition, or bringing geographic and a different perspective in terms of where they're located to the competition. So we have had rural, we have medium-sized, we have had large colleges win the award. Size is not as important as it is in terms of outcomes from an individual program. So I want to encourage a lot of the small rural colleges to participate. We invite, and like I said, showcase those 30 finalists, and those are the top 10 scored colleges in each of the 3 award categories. They are all coming to the final round, which takes place at what is called the Community College Futures Assembly. That is always held in late March, typically the last Sunday through Tuesday. In late February. The Futures Assembly is held in late February, typically the Sunday through Tuesday, last Sunday through Tuesday of the week in February. This is where we bring all the finalists together. It's a rich, unparalleled learning and sharing experience. The 3 Bellwether Award winners are provided a national platform and showcased at the ACCT National Congress. That is the Association of Community College Trustees. We're headed there, I believe, in October or September with the 3 winners of this year's competition to present. We have a new affiliated partner or sponsor for the workforce development category. So our workforce development awardee and the other two will also go to NACCE's conference, which is the National Association of Community College Entrepreneurship Conference. So we have a lot of interest from fellow large higher education organizations that really want to see what our Bellwether winners have done and how they can promote it within their own organization. So we are really excited about the old and new partnerships that we're developing. And then, of course, we have a BCC Summer Innovation Series where I interview all our awardees, because I know for many of you that come, you cannot always go to all the presentations. I certainly can't. And so this is a way to learn about those awardees that took top honors. We also interview our outstanding dissertation awardee as well, and that's always a thrill to be able to have her share her research or his research with us. So keep in mind, many of our past awardees have gone on to become Aspen finalists, and we've even had at least one winner that I'm aware of. So we utilize this sometimes, or many of our colleges utilize what they do here to continue to go on and achieve other accolades. So at this time, let's take a look back at who our 2025 winners or finalists were. So as you can see there, we have segmented them by the category that they competed in. I'm not going to go through all the names, but what I will say is that I can provide the description of the award category at this time, so you have an idea of maybe where your program might fall when you're deciding upon which particular category to submit to. So the first category, instructional programs and services, the description is basically programs or activities designed and successfully implemented to foster or support teaching and learning in the community college. Forsyth Technical Community College in North Carolina was our winner there. And by the way, all of these descriptions are on our website, and I'll show you where. The next grouping of category of colleges competing are in the area of planning, governance, and finance. And those are programs or activities that have been designed or successfully implemented to improve college efficiency and effectiveness. The winner in that category was Fletcher Technical Community College from Louisiana. And then finally, the workforce development category. That description is public or private strategic alliances and partnerships that promote community and economic development by producing a workforce. And the winner there was Madison Community College in Kentucky. All right, let's go ahead and talk about important dates. Now, the good news is the portal is open, so you can go in there, take a look, and see what it is we're asking of you. But the most important date right now is to make sure you get your submission in before September 25th. So we try to have a long bandwidth, a long runway, so to speak, so you can gear up for that. This is one of the first times we've started in June, so we're a little, I think, ahead of the game, I hope, and we hope to see even more submissions this year. I do want to stress that the submission portal will close at 11 p.m. Central Time on the 25th. So if you're on the East Coast, make sure you keep that in mind. We'll be probably closing the office before you're closing your office. So the only thing I can emphasize there or highly recommend is to complete the form before the deadline. But definitely before the last day, if at all possible. If you have a question, please get it to me early or my team, and we will definitely respond. But our offices close at 5, and I can't guarantee that we'll have all the calls and inquiries that come in that day answered. So I'm just trying to help you make sure that you get all your questions answered and that you put forward the best proposal possible. Look towards our FAQs on our webpage if there's some questions that you have that maybe remain unanswered, but we've got a long time till then, so I look forward to getting any questions that you may have. In November. So we kind of go silent for a while because our round one judges are busy reading and scoring your submissions. We receive all those scores, and then we, as a team, rank them based on the the highest score to the lowest, and that is how we determine, no secret there, the top 10 for each of the categories. And then the fun times begin. So we put out a press release. We let folks know who was designated as a finalist, and we love to hear that you've included our press release or had some press locally, because all of our Bellwether finalists are so deserving, and we just enjoy having the media pay good attention and deserved attention to all our colleges that have hit that mark. So the next time you'll hear from us would be in November, after our first round judges have concluded scoring all their assigned submissions. You will receive an email or letter indicating your name, whether you are named a finalist, and then from that point on, then we work with the finalist to prepare you for the final round. So you'll be working with all of the team. We will blast this information on social media, so you'll have that list of 30 finalists, the new group, come out as well, so you'll know, and you can share that with your local audience. But it's always a thrill to make that announcement, and it's an exciting time for us as it is for the finalists. So know that it is indeed a great honor for us to be a part of the great work that you've done. So just hold the date. February 22nd through 24th is next year's Community College Futures Assembly. Again, that's where the final round of the Bellwether Award competition takes place. I'm pleased to announce it will be at the St. Anthony Hotel, which is just blocks away from the Alamo and the Riverwalk. So if you've never been to San Antonio, it's a lovely place in February. So we look forward to seeing many of you here with us. Let's talk about what you've come here for, the criteria and the judge's rubric. I'll explain both of those things here. So what you see in front of you are the 4 criteria that our Bellwether round judges will be scoring. This is very important for you to include information on all of these 3 criterion. We have prepared this slide with the rubric included for one of them. And this is how a judge would determine the score. First, let me go through the criteria, and then I'll go through the scoring. The criteria is first, identify a critical issue or challenge that this program, model, policy, or service was designed to address. So what was the critical issue? What was so challenging on your campus that you said, we have to create a program, we have to figure out how to address this issue? The second piece would be describing the process, your timeline, your participants, and the resources required for you to implement the program. So what did it take? Maybe some organizational frameworks that you had. Again, the resources, both financial and human resources, and how you launched that program. What were the things that were done to execute this high quality, high functioning program? And then who did it target? And then third, what we believe is most significant is talk about your performance indicators, describe and demonstrate what those were, what were the outcomes that demonstrated your program's success. And then if you can, and if it's applicable, let's share that from an equity lens. And then if you have any scalability of that program, so maybe it started in a department and now it's system-wide or district-wide or college-wide, share that with us as well. That's really important for us to see, because what we definitely want is a scaled program. And so that would be really important to mention there. And then finally, the last criteria is what we also find important. All of these criteria are important, but specifically, if you were going to share this program with someone that wanted to replicate it, speak about the lessons learned for our colleges who are considering perhaps replicating a portion or the entire program. So that is it. Those are the 4 criteria that our judges will be looking at round 1. let's talk about how they will judge, a particular area. So I went ahead or my staff went ahead and delineated the points that would be given depending on whether or not that program hit the mark in terms of how we define scoring for a particular section here. So if the criteria was specify the performance indicators or outcomes that demonstrated a success, and obviously they did not, they wouldn't get any points. Obviously, they didn't have any outcomes or indicators that we could find in that document, in that program summary that they provided. If they minimally provided documentation, so it was very scant, there just wasn't a lot there, but they did provide some, those judges would score between 1 and 2 points. And then if they provided some moderate documented outcomes, basically a summary of some performance indicators, maybe not all the ones that might be likely from a specific program, they would get 3 to 4 points. And then obviously if they did a great job, they satisfactorily hit the mark, they had successful performance indicators, maybe 2 to 3 years, that established an undeniable achievement of the program, policy, service, or model to maybe a variety of groups. So looking at different groups, different cohorts, and a substantial number of students, that's what we'd like to see there to get 5 to 7 points in that specific criterion or under that criterion. So the strength and the success demonstrated by your performance indicators or outcomes is the most highly weighted criterion. We're interested in where you had measurable and significant success, and of course include any data and any analysis to showcase those outcomes. These are the programs deemed the most successful and important to replicate, and that is why our consortium considers them probably the most highly sought programs for us to promote. So all the criteria, by the way, have the same scoring rubric language. Goes from the did not specify all the way up to they met a satisfactory level of information that would allow our judges to feel like they had demonstrated success in that particular area, or they had addressed that particular criterion. Okay, so that's the point structure. And for this particular one that identified, 7 would be the maximum amount of points given if they provided sufficient documented outcomes and indicators. Okay, let's talk about the guideline overview and the submission portal. We're going to demo it right now, so that way you're very familiar with the process and know what to expect. So we're going to go to bellwethercollegeconsortium.com. And this is our home page. I know it's a little small, but we want to just show you the entire page. And what you'll see here is that there is a button, usually under a graphic that we have on the right-hand side. This is what we call our action area. So you will see a graphic maybe promoting today it's Bellwether Award competition. It might be the Outstanding Dissertation Award. As the Community College Futures program draws near, we'll have the digital program as a preview for anyone and everyone who wants to see it. But today, obviously, we're focused on the award competition, and below there's a button there. So if you're just coming to our page and you're like, I need to find the portal, we try to make it nice and easy for you. But what we'll do right now is if you look on top, we have several tabs. We're going to click on the graphic. We're going to go to the Bellwether Award, and then we're going to go down to the drop-down menu to the submission form and guidelines. So let's go here now. So that takes you to this page. This is our landing page for the Bellwether Awards portion of our website. So you'll see this is a full house that we usually have pictured there. And then what we do is we follow it with a chronology of events so you can know what's coming up or what are some important pieces of information you might want to have as you're going through the round one process and even the second round process. But it is chock full of information. I'm not going to go through it all because we don't have that much time, but know that it's there. You can reference it as much as you like. And then as we get closer to the finalist stage, we will also put in some additional dates specific to our finalists that they will need as they're preparing for the final competition. Okay, I'll go ahead and walk you through the Bellwether submission form now. So if we click on that button. All right, so this is the page, or this is our submission page. Make sure that you're prepared to add all the information requested. So go ahead, take a sneak peek. I'll share with you what we need because the information can't be saved. Unfortunately, you can't come back and then add more information. So keep a copy of your program summary and description so you have it and maybe you can cut and paste it, but that also you can keep it for your records. Okay, so let's go through this pretty short. It's pretty much a short form. So the first thing you'll want to do is choose from the award categories that I just mentioned. The great thing about this particular form is on the right-hand side, you can make sure that you're selecting the right one because the descriptions are there for you to choose from. You only select one, so you choose one award category for each program that you are going to submit. And we only allow one program per award category per college. So choose the award category based on the descriptions provided. And then what you'll do next is obviously add your college name, contact information will be the next thing. Now that principal contact person is very important. That is the person that will receive important and oftentimes time-sensitive information from us to respond to and obviously to share with the fellow team members if it's something that involves us sharing information that will be helpful for anybody going to the Futures Assembly. So make sure you've got the right person that is a good communicator in sharing the information that we're providing, and it is also responsive to our questions. So we run under a very tight timeline. We have literally from November to early February to get some information in and get ready for the Futures Assembly. So these people are key, and we often know every single one of them by name. So they will get to know us and we will get to know them, but it's always a pleasure working with all our colleges. They're very responsive. Moving on to the presentation title. So here we want your title no more than 10 words, nothing more than that. So that's easy. And that title can change. We've had a couple of colleges change their title, but again, 10 words, no more. And then the next thing we ask for is the abstract, which is limited to 50 words. This is not a scored piece of information. It's just a description that if you become a finalist will be added to our digital and printed program. And then finally, the most important section is the program summary. This section will be scored. It'll be scored by our judges. That is what they'll receive with your program title. And that score will determine if the program moves on to the final round of competition. On the right-hand side, you've got a reminder of the 4 criteria that will be scored by our judges. Again, the information can't be saved, so I definitely stress for you to keep a copy of your submission. And we, of course, will have it. The deadline, again, is September 25th at 11 p.m. I'm not kidding when I say some people forget to hit the submit button, so it happens. Please remember to do that. So if you need to contact me, you have the information there. Once you hit submit, you should receive a confirmation. If you don't, let us know, but we've already included that in the system, so you're set. Then you just kind of play the waiting game from that point on. All right, let's go to the finalist stage. So hopefully every one of you on this call or looking at this recording becomes a finalist. I'm going to talk a little bit about what happens next with the next slide. So If you become a finalist, like I said, you're invited to be a member of the Bellwether College Consortium. The membership will be what you will be paying for in terms of registration, because the membership allows 3 individuals to come for free or complimentary with a membership. So the membership includes 3 complimentary registrations to the Community College Futures Assembly. We also provide a discounted registration rate for any additional colleagues coming from your college. We often have a large support group from all the colleges, or we have people come that want to look at other presentations to look and learn, and then come back and share it with a larger group at their college campus. So we encourage more than the 3 attendees. We can have as many as 6 panelists, just to note, but three are the is the number of complimentary registrations you receive with your membership. That is $3,300. That is an annual membership. You'll also receive password protected access to our digital library, where all 30 Bellwether finalists digital binders will be, and I'll talk more about that. So the submission of the digital binder, that is a scored component for the Bellwether Award competition. That is important to us because it helps us promote all these 30 programs that have shown evidence-based results, and allows you as a member to look at those other programs that you might be interested in replicating or learning more about, because you may have the same challenge, or maybe we've had many programs that are somewhat similar, and that we find that the colleges begin to have a relationship and talking to one another, and all boats rise in that situation because they're learning from each other, let's say about having a chat bot or having online learning modules that they're trying to improve upon. Those are just examples, but it is really something that sets us apart from other competitions and organizations, is that deliberate sharing of roadmaps of all the presentations. So you're not unaware of what other people are doing around the nation in the area of community college innovation. And they're 10 pages. They're not long, massive documents. We really try to keep them to those 10 pages. So they're very succinct documents for our members to receive access to. We also have participation in the Bellwether Finalist Showcase. So this is a second segment that we don't talk too much about, but it is a separate award competition that is embedded in the Futures Assembly. It is separate from the Bellwether Award, and it is an award that our finalists vie for. The great thing about the Finalist Showcase, it started out as a preview, and it still is a preview, so our judges would know all the 10 colleges that were competing in the award category that they were judging. And because one judge cannot go to all 10 sessions in their award category, this gave them an opportunity to ask questions to the colleges vying for that award and know enough about that college that they could make an informed and deliberative decision when working with their other judges in that award category. So we like to call it a speed dating like preview to our judges, but it is one of the most dynamic, energy infused evenings where you walk out with so many ideas and just insightful information from so many individuals, because everyone may think you're a judge. We have anonymous judges, and it gives everyone an opportunity to learn from the best and brightest in terms of what is happening around the nation. So Best in Showcase Award is given in each of the 3 award categories. There's one award, and we do highlight them at our award ceremony as well. So the next thing I'll talk about is the most important piece, and that's the oral presentation. For finalists, they will have an assigned session on the Monday of the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday program or assembly. And so that Monday we have 30 sessions, 5 occurring during over 6 hours time, with 15-minute breaks in between. So when you're assigned a session, you have a 45 minutes 45-minute presentation, and then we asked you to leave about 15 minutes for Q&A. You'll receive questions from lots of people in the audience. One of them may be a judge. And so that is the time to share and learn from each other. But it is a wonderfully long, exhaustive, but fulfilling day of learning and presenting. And then we end at night with a wonderful reception, and we have some fun. I'll tell you that. So San Antonio is a fun place to be, and I think the consortium folks are some of the funner people for any conference events. So they are all into preparing, but then we have a nice night of them for this to relax, to network, and to have some fun. And then finally, the Bellwether Awards ceremony. So Tuesday is our last day. The morning kicks off with our keynote speaker. And then you'll have one of the most entertaining awards ceremonies you've seen. We have a professional musician who is our MC. If you've come to the event, you know who he is, and he loves to come back. And so he is wonderful at presenting a slew of awards, but doing it in a manner that is musical and just entertaining. And so everyone really enjoys his end to a very long program of presentations. And so you'll find that I think that hour and 15 minutes goes by really fast. We will have professional photos for all the teams. We ask that all the teams stay for the entirety of the program because we like to recognize you at this awards ceremony. All right, so that is a glimpse of what the finalists will be working towards, and then some of the pieces that they'll be preparing for as they go and get ready for the Futures Assembly. All right, let me talk a little bit about just one or two FAQs. Okay, so there's just two questions that we typically always get. And one is, how many Bellwether Award categories are there? There are three: IPS, instructional programs and services, workforce development is second, and planning, governance, and finance. We have one top award, but note that if you are a finalist, you receive a finalist award for being the top 10 in a national pool of submitters. Every one of the teams that shows up to compete will receive a finalist award, and then we'll have the top three Bellwether Awards. And like I said, the top three Best in Showcase Awards. If you are coming from a large district, we get this question. If you're part of a district with independent colleges, each one of those independent colleges can provide a program submission for each one of the award categories. So that is possible as long as that district consists of more than one independent college. They can submit one submission per college per award category. Okay, next slide. So member benefits, I think I went through that pretty well. The last thing I'll just say is that you will see, or you will be provided with a presentation from our Outstanding Dissertation Awardee. The consortium tries to do a good job at marrying cutting-edge research with exemplary programming. And so by instituting this Outstanding Dissertation Award competitions, we're probably now in 5 or 6 years going strong. We are all about making sure that our colleges are informed about some of the latest research on community college issues. And last year we had a young lady from the University of Southern California win, and it's just always really informative to have somebody of that caliber, a newly minted scholar, really interested in community college issues, and an audience full of individuals that can help utilize the information that he or she is sharing. So our ODA recipient will be at the event and will be sharing their research findings. We will also have several plenary speakers, and we always like to carefully select a group that is also doing research or has some great information to share on something that is maybe percolating and trending amongst our community colleges. So folks really love our speakers. And so you will get to know who those folks are once we make that known. And our final slide, and then we'll open it up for questions, I believe. So this is our team. We have amazingly small team, but very efficient and effective team. You know who I am. I serve as the director and always here and happy to help you. I'll be emceeing most of the program, and so I depend on Dina, Robert, and Jessica. So Dina Rodriguez Cassidy is the executive assistant to the vice chancellor for education or economic workforce development at Alamo, but she also serves as the lead for registration. She handles the purchase orders and provides guidance and works closely with all of our judges for both rounds 1 and 2. Just a special note, if you are going to have a purchase order for your registration, please contact her early, and I would say register as soon as possible, because as we all know, those just the paperwork involved does take some time. So she is usually on it for everyone, but it can get overwhelming quickly. So Dina is your point person there. Robert, who is recording this session, Acosta is our coordinator of communications, and he leads all our marketing and communications pieces for our consortium and works very closely with the 30 teams to ensure that the program materials are accurate and the judged materials are collected. And so he utilizes all that to make sure that all our printed materials are ready to go and that you're reflected in the best way possible. So you will get to know him very closely. And then finally, Jessica Barnes is the Director of Office Operations. She is our guru of logistics for the on-site venue, and she leads 2 of the receptions. So she's all about making sure the entertainment is great and that the site is beautiful and that there's plenty of volunteers to help out if you have questions. And so she is our person on the spot, so to speak. She's always available to make sure that your questions are answered if I can't be there. So that is our team, and you have all of our email. This slide deck will be available with the recording for everyone, so you will have it available and can share it with your team. All right, so at this time, I'd like to open it up for questions. We have a chat box. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer them at this time. I believe there may be one now. Can you add more than one person to the principal contact? Well, at this time, no, but Gina, thank you for that question, by the way. What we have seen is that people will start off with one contact, maybe an administrative assistant, and then switch over to somebody that's actually on the team. Or it might be the president, and then that person switches it to maybe another team member. So we're okay with switching, but it's hard to have 2 individual people because then we're not sure who's going to be addressing the question, and so it gets a little sticky on our end. I hope that makes sense. You're welcome. I'll pause for a bit and see if anybody has questions. I know that was a lot to go through, but my voice held out, so I'm happy about that. But let me take a moment to see if you have any questions. And it's so wonderful to see so many of you. I know we've started this early, and many of you may be thinking of vacation more than preparing for this, but we are delighted to have you on board. Can I just see if anyone is returning or has competed before by a thumbs up? Just curious. Yay. Okay, well, I see 2, 3. All right. Well, welcome back. And honestly, I'm just pleased to see so many new faces and new names. This is wonderful. Wonderful.
Rose,
Okay.
we do have a question in the chat.
Oh, thank you. If okay. Oh, yes. So the question is, if you have questions about the category a certain program would fall into, would you and your team be open to discussing that? Of course, Scott. And there is going to be some overlap. Obviously, an instructional program could be a workforce development program, and you could have a great some planning or some a finance model that is also embedded in programming. So we understand that. We just like you to make the best choice possible. Sometimes we do see a little bit of bleeding into programming to one category that isn't as likely as we'd like it to be, or isn't as straightforward. So just try to use your best judgment, but we're here to help in any way we can. Thanks for that question. I see a comment, maybe it says top 10. I'm not sure. Dr. Billings, if you had a question there?
No, when you were asking if we had been with Bellwether before, we were top 10 a couple years ago.
Oh, yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. Yes, I remember Rowan Cavada. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions? Don't be shy. If you have a question, I'm sure someone else has that exact same question. What I will say is if you become a finalist, we try to have that preparatory webinar as soon as possible. We give it maybe a week from the announcement. So be ready to go. At least have one person. But just like this, we will record the session so that way you can share it with your team members. Um, that is something that we do deliberately because we want to give you as much time as possible, but we feel since we provide as much information now, you kind of have a glimpse of what to expect. So hopefully that helps everyone in the planning of this. So are there exemplars or model applications we can look at for inspiration? Well, if you go to our resources page, we do have the top 3 awardees that I interview, and the digital binders for those may be available as well. So you can look to our resources page for some of those pieces. Most definitely look there for resources. Oh, you're welcome. Good question. Okay, I'm going to call this and say that it has been a pleasure to share this time with you. Again, if you have questions, you can definitely reach me offline via email. Is the best way to reach me. And we'll go from there and make sure we get your questions answered. I really appreciate you being here today. And I hope to see a submission from all of your colleges. And if not, if you don't feel like you're in a competitive mood, please come to the Futures Assembly. It's a great time to be in San Antonio and a great time to see what's happening with our wonderful community colleges. But I applaud the work you're doing. Good luck in the future. And again, reach out if you need anything. Me and my team are here to help you. Thank you so much and have a great, great afternoon.